Hello to you all. Okay, so we have been tucking into our homebrew cider for a few weeks now. So watch along here if you'd like to find out how it turned out and what we did after all of those beautiful apples had been pressed and juiced into our big glass demijohn. This is less than 48 hours of it being in the big fermenting vat, and overnight we noticed that the bubbles had changed on the top. It changed its activity here, and now the airlock, as you may have just seen, is starting to bubble. So that, I believe, is a really good sign. That means that activity is starting to happen in here, i.e. natural fermentation, which is great because we have not added any yeast to this. It is just the wild yeast which are contained in the apples that we have used, and yet, as I believe from my research, this is a really good sign that things are happening naturally. It's the 7th of November today, and our cider has been sat in this vat for about 6 weeks now. And what we wanted to show you is that over the last week or so, couple of weeks, we've noticed that the cider has really cleared. After about 2 weeks, it went really cloudy after its main fermentation. It went really cloudy. And yeah, just the last week or so, it's really cleared up. So hopefully you can see that on the camera. And today, we're going to rack it off and put it into bottles.
So we've just brought the cider outside, ready to rack. We're going to siphon it from the container it's in into this plastic one. So this one's up a bit higher, just to make the process go a bit better.
Right, we've got all of our equipment organised to rack and bottle our homemade cider. But we think we've got everything organised. This is obviously a first time for us, so we're just feeling our way through it, but it's all good fun. So first of all, we're gonna rack the cider into this plastic barrel, and that is so we can leave all of this sediment at the bottom, because we don't want that coming into our final bottled product. I've got all my glass bottles here, which we've sterilised in the oven ahead of time, all our caps, and then we've also got our sugar water solution, which is 180 grams of sugar and 200 millilitres of water that we've just warmed up to dissolve the sugar and then let it cool. And you'll see in a minute we're going to add that to the cider and doing a bulk priming instead of putting the sugar into the individual bottles, which will make your cider fizzy if that's how you like it. So let's get going. Oh my god, it smells like cider. It smells really nice. Okay, so I've got to use this siphon. This has got a little filter, sort of filters out some of the sediment, I think, as well. Just make sure there's no bits in there. Okay. We don't want that to go right to the bottom because we don't want that sediment. See if I can get this going. It's just a little bit of water in there that I wanted to get rid of to start with. And there we are, it's flowing away. We'll just leave that doing its thing for a minute. Dan wants to do a taste test, so we've just taken a little bit out. Smells good. Smells like cider. Yeah, it wakes the taste buds up. Well, yeah, it's nice. Your first sip is really like, but then your second sip is it's quite refreshing. Right, so that is all of the cider from our glass vat now siphoned into our big plastic vat, and you can see here, look, that's all that thick sediment that we've left in the bottom. We've got all the liquid out nicely, and so now I'm going to add the sugar water, and hopefully this will sweeten it up and make it nice and fizzy for us as well, because that's how we want it to be. So that's gone in there, and that is 180 grams of sugar, 200 millilitres of water, heated up gently and then cooled off. So I guess we should give this a little bit of a stir. Right, so let's get on with the bottling. Let's see if I can lift this. Oh my god, that's really heavy. So this is a little extra addition we decided to buy. It's just a different tap than what came with the bucket, and it's got this auto bottler or something they call it on here, so we're going to give this a whirl. And what this should do is stop you from overfilling the bottles when you can't see how far the liquid's gone in. I think it stops it somehow, but we'll see how it goes. Okay, see how this works. I've got another auto bottling device that I use. It's slightly different from this one. Whoa, there's one in. Ah, yes. This thing rocks. This makes it well easy. It was only, I think it was a couple of pounds, few pounds, this extra attachment, so it wasn't much at all. And I know from my experiences with bottling kombucha into dark bottles, when you can't always see the fluid, how messy that can get, so I just knew that it was probably well worth the money. And I do like to use dark glass for everything, just because I feel, you know, like with olive oil and with lots of different products, they always say it's better to keep it in the dark. So if I can, I just always prefer to use dark bottles for everything. And they're just nice. There's something sort of a bit oldie-worldy about dark bottles, I think. And then we just keep repeating this process until we've used all the liquid and filled, I reckon, nearly all of our bottles.
So the way this works, there's a little button here that when you put your bottle on, you press that against the bottom of your bottle, which allows the liquid to start coming. And then I'm finding if you let it fill almost to the top, as you pull the bottle back off, the level will go down as your tube is removed, as that's taken up some of the volume of the bottle. So about there. Perfect.
You just need that clearance, don't you? That's the only...
So I'm filling to about here, and then as I remove it, the level goes back down to about here. Okay, you're so cute. Hi. Hello. Hi. Very sorry. Why don't you come for an appearance?
So I don't know if it's the same with brewing cider, but something I found out from brewing kombucha is if you leave a little bit of an air gap in the neck of the bottle, that actually does something to generate more fizz as well. Now I'm sure there's way more scientific explanations behind it than that, but it's not how my brain works. I just know I've read it somewhere and it seems to work when I do it with a kombucha. So yeah, that's also why we're leaving a little bit of an air gap in the bottles as well, because we'd like a nice fizzy cider. A few little bits
Getting
of sediment.
close now to do the old tip to get the last bit out.
One more, I reckon. One, maybe,
I reckon a couple more.
maybe two.
3 more, I reckon.
Oh, you reckon?
Yeah.
So that is 36 bottles of cider, and these are 500 milliliter bottles, so that's about 18 litres of home brewed wild Scrumpy. We're going to let these sit in the bottle now for I think it seems to be suggested at least a month you should leave them in the bottle, but as long as possible. So yeah, we're going to leave these bottled up now for a month before we try them again, and then hopefully they will be ready just in time for the festive season of Christmas. Here goes.
Big test.
We bottled the cider on the 7th of November. Today is the 12th of December. So it's had a good month to sit and hopefully get better flavour. So let's give it a whirl. Got some fizz. A little bit there.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Let's give it a go.
That wakes the taste buds up.
It tastes like strong cider, just without the fizz, doesn't it?
Yeah. It's got quite a nice aftertaste.
Well, it has got a bit of fizz, but yeah, it's not like sparkling, like really fizzy, is it?
I'd like it fizzier.
I think if it was really fizzing, it would be.
And initially I thought I
Perfect,
wanted it sweeter, but actually I quite like it. It's almost got like.
It is nice.
It's almost got like a honey aftertaste.
It tastes like steel cider, doesn't it, really? Yeah, it's really nice actually. Yeah, I can happily drink that.
It's a bit too easy to drink, I think.
Considering there's no yeast in there, no bought yeast, nothing else literally other than the apples and a bit of sugar at the end, wasn't it? Yeah, but not bad though. Definitely can enjoy those.
Not bad for a first attempt. Cheers. Our favourite way to enjoy our homebrew cider and blackcurrant. Cheers.